The entire time I was at Oak Cliff, a highly competitive sailing program on Long Island, New York, that was my moment. Everything in my life seemed complete. I enjoyed sailing hundreds of miles in an offshore race with some of the most intriguing and adventurous people I've ever met. Being awake at 3 in the morning with millions of stars as the only source of light and sitting in near freezing temperatures, the rest of my crew and I shared stories from our diverse backgrounds. For a month, I only worried about whether or not my sail trim was the fastest it could be, or should I make oatmeal or just have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I was living the life of a sailor, every moment of every day. My Oak Cliff experience was a huge contrast to my prior year. The summer leading into my sophomore year, both my parents experienced major health issues that restricted their driving abilities. For about 6 months, I was the only member of my family legally allowed to drive. I had just turned 16, earning my license days after my birthday. A month later, my dad had a seizure. Subsequently, his doctor took away his license. About 2 weeks later, my mom went into surgery to get a pacemaker implanted to keep her heart beating regularly. Like my dad, her doctor took away her license. With my sister at college, my parents needed me to become their personal chauffeur. At first, I resented the idea of driving my parents around. We had switched roles. I drove my parent and dad to work in the morning and picked them up when they were done. I felt unbalanced. A few months into it, I had to change my attitude. There was nothing I could do to change what happened. I could not be selfish. I realized my parents relied on me to drive. They had places they needed to be to support us. This was a whole new level of responsibility from homework. My parents depended on me for our livelihood. While I learned more about being an adult, I didn't get the chance to be a teenager. Many times I didn't have opportunities to hang with my friends or go to events because my parents needed a ride. If I wanted to see my friends, I had to take extra steps to plan around my parents' schedule or make sure they were taken care of. Did they have a different ride? Were they already where they needed to be for the day? Sometimes I didn't even try to hang out with my friends. Coordinating schedules and finding the time was just too difficult. During times of incredible struggle or adversity, I keep sailing memories in the back of my mind. Recently, I competed in a high school sailing regatta. I was leading in first place, heading upwinds towards the finish. The wind was strong, our boat was tilted to the side from the force of the wind and sails. My legs burned as I hiked to keep the boat flat. The main sheet held tightly in my grip, not wanting to let go and lose the speed I had built up. I was flying over the water, nothing could stop me from winning. I cherished moments like these, the quiet ones spent on the water. Throughout the experience with my family, I have learned to see the world in a different way. Sailing has become more than just a sport, it is my way of life. I value the time with my friends because I may not always see them. And finally, I understand responsibility differently now. No longer do I see responsibility as an annoyance, but as a process through which I can grow. All right, a couple shout outs. Mr. D, you were my first advisor and teacher here at RHP, and I have learned many things from you, and I probably get most of my sarcasm from you. Thank you very much for that. Ms. Ramos, the Washington, D.C. trip is my favorite school trip I've ever been on. I don't think you're here, but that was awesome, and I appreciate everything you've done for that. Ms. Eisler, okay, you've kind of been like my rock here at RHP, and I know I could always come into you if I needed anything from you or anyone to talk to, and I appreciate it more than you understand. Ms. Alcott, I don't know if you're here, but you are what holds RHP together. This school will not run without you, and the other woman that run the front desk. You are one of the most important persons here. Okay, Ms. K, I think she has advisory, so yeah, good art teacher, whatever. Okay. Mr. Williamson, you're my high school advisor for 3 years and my English teacher. I respected you more than anyone else here, pretty much. I've learned more from you, and you will be missed. All right, Aubrey, you were one of my first friends in high school here, freshman year. I remember Mr. Williamson's class and sitting next to you, and some inside jokes that I don't think I could say here. Lauren, thank you so much for being my friend and helping me throughout ASL. I probably would not have passed the class without you, and thank you for all the food you bring. Nicole and Leah, RHB is a very small community, and we're kind of stuck with the people here, but I am glad I'm stuck with you guys. Matthew, I don't think I'm more jealous than anyone else other than you, mainly because of how smart you are, and that really kind of irks me sometimes. Neil, known you since 5th grade. We've been in same school for 7 years now, 6, 7 years. That might be too long, but you are one of my best friends, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. Garrett, we didn't really start being friends until like freshman year-ish, maybe? I'm not really sure. But it took me a while to learn that we live so close, and I guess that's one of the reasons why you and I are so close. I miss bringing you to school every day and taking you home. That was definitely a highlight of my days. I really miss that. Okay. And then Dad, thank you for showing me the world of sailing. I would never have been as into it without you. And I thank you very much for that, and I appreciate it. Mom, I know that it's been kind of stressful recently. I'm sorry for that, but just know that I appreciate everything you do for me, and I love you very much. Megan, I miss you a lot now that you're not living with us anymore. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I love you very much.